Well, that's it. The NBA season, or regular season anyway, is officially just wrapped up. It was a few hours ago, mind you. Being a person that lives in Australia, the games were on today at the times of 3 a.m. in the morning and 5:30 a.m. in the morning. So, as you would know, I had a grand old time waking up at 6 o'clock to watch the second half of the Warriors game. Which, by the way, I'll get to that in a minute, but I'm not very happy about it, as a lot of people would know. The 2025 NBA season was quite the season. We are yet to find out who the MVP will be for the season, but that is about the only up and about, no one knows who the award's going to sort of award. Rookie of the Year, Stefan Castle's going to take it. Sixth Man of the Year, all fingers point to Peyton Pritchard, although Malik Beasley, to be honest, Malik Beasley has a fair argument to make. The Clutch Player of the Year award, one of those awards where, I don't really know where it's going to go. I think Shea's probably up there, although he didn't have to play a lot of fourth quarters because, to be honest, the Thunder beat a lot of teams by over 20 points every single night. So who knows what's going to happen with that, but a lot of the awards are locked up. The playoffs are going to start now. The Wild West is finally over, and it sees the Minnesota Timberwolves taking the 6th seed after they beat up on the Jazz today, who had Kyle Flipkowski playing 40 minutes. Anthony Edwards, shout out to him, actually took home the 3-point trophy today. Just beating out Malik Beasley, funnily enough. And Malik Beasley, being a bench player, for him to nearly win the 3-point crown as a bench player is absurd to me. And deserves as much of a look at Sixth Man of the Year as Peyton Pritchard does. Although the Celtics are better than the Pistons wouldn't have had the season they had without Malik Beasley coming off the bench and hitting all those jump shots. So who knows what's going to happen with that, but I think he has enough of an argument as anyone else to win the award. So we'll see. The Clippers take the 5 seed. Denver take the 4 seed, so that'll be a series. I won't go into it today. I'm probably tomorrow going to get a video out predicting play-ins first of all, although the play-in I'm pretty sure starts tomorrow. So the play-in, I will get my predictions in, probably do it post-game. I think it's the Miami game tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll get that video out past the Miami game. Early picks for that, I think the Bulls will take that one. The Bulls have just been on a run of form recently. They're at the United Center. Josh Giddey's playing some of his best basketball. Always seems to play really good basketball when it comes to playing against. And the Heat, to be honest, the Heat have been up and down all year. Lost to a buzzer beater today, actually, by Bub Carrington. It's good for the Wizards to go out on a high. The Wizards have had a really bad season, so for them to go out on a high is really good for them. I see the Bulls as a better team at this point in the year. Vucevic is as solid as he always is. And yeah, early pick for tomorrow. I think the Heat will take it. Rest of my picks, I'll get out a video tomorrow and they'll be all my picks. You guys can watch them and see through them before all the play-ins actually start. And then after that, it's consistency. I'm getting videos out every single day during the play-ins, during the playoffs, all of that sort of thing. To be honest, the fact that they can't give me a one-day break to actually project on the NBA season is ridiculous. But anyway, yes, so the Denver Nuggets will host the Clippers, who the Clippers are looking as good as anyone at the moment. James Harden played unreal today. Kawhi Leonard played just as well. Ivica Zubac ate us up on the rebounds. And they're just playing really good basketball. Norman Powell he's not Sixth Man of the Year because he's starting for them, but if it come to third string stars, I think he probably takes the cake for the year. Yeah, that series will be fun. It'll be interesting. It sees the Lakers play against the Timberwolves in the 3-6 matchup. The Lakers will be hosting the Timberwolves. Early doors for that one, I think the Lakers are just slightly the better team. the Minnesota Timberwolves, as good as Anthony Edwards is and Julius Randle, it really, to me, just depends on what sort of Julius Randle you get. Julius Randle, the other night, I watched him play against, I believe it was Denver. I don't reckon I saw him miss a shot all night. When he's on a run of form and playing like that All-NBA first team Julius Randle that he was 3 years ago, they're as good as anyone. But it just all depends on the sort of form you get out of Julius Randle. It'll be up in the air throughout the whole series. We will see soon who he wants to be during the playoffs. Rudy Gobert as the third guy. Who knows what you get out of Rudy? Rudy Gobert, one of those guys who he can be whatever he wants himself to be. In the past, he's had some stuff going in the playoffs where he's had to either be sat on the bench because he's a complete liability on the defensive end, where for the longest time of Rudy Gobert's career, the defensive end is where he's made his money, or they've had to put him in a corner on offense, sit him in the dunker spot, and he basically be a non-factor other than a screen and roll threat. Who knows what'll come out of him? The only consistent person I know that's going to come out of that series is Anthony Edwards. He's going to get his buckets. He's going to love playing in the big time against the Lakers. Don't have a doubt in my mind. And he's going to enjoy the absolute hell out of that series. So who knows what will happen with that. My last point I sort of wanted to touch on is it now sees the Warriors in a play-in game. Yeah, Harrison Barnes did that. The fact that we lost to the Spurs 4 nights ago, and now that we've lost to the Clippers, who, as I said, are one of the better teams in the league at the moment, we're in a play-in game. As confident as I am for the play-in game, and as confident as I am against any of those teams we have to play against, I think early predictions, I'm going to be biased, obviously. I think we take that game against the Grizzlies. But after what happened today with Jimmy Butler's knee, he looked in a lot of pain at the end of that game. So I don't know how good Jimmy's knee is going to be in 2 days' time, I think, when we play again. Who knows what his knee's going to look like. That week off just would have been great. I think we well deserved the week off. We played for the second half of the season. We were one of the best teams in basketball all the second half of the season. So for us to not actually at the end of the day end up in a playoff spot and have that week off, rest up our guys, especially being an older squad, it would have been nice to rest those guys up, get our structure in order and all of that stuff. We now have to play a play-in game against the Grizzlies, who the Grizzlies at the moment are in a pretty good run of form. Jar's back and playing close to his best. Desmond Bane is shooting the hell out of the ball, as he always does. Jaren Jackson and Zach Edey are the two that are very up in the air, because they're very good basketball players when they're on the court, but occasionally they can foul and quickly get into foul trouble. And I think that's one of the things we should emphasize in a couple of days' time, is really attacking those guys and trying to get them into foul trouble early. Because as soon as Jaren's off the floor and Zach Edey's off the floor, they don't have a ton of height. Brandon Clark's injured. They traded away Xavier Tillman a couple of years ago, and they just don't have a lot of height. They're like us. We don't have a lot of height either. So who knows what will happen with that. But yeah, early predictions, I think we take the game. I'm very confident in us making a playoff spot and at least winning one of those 2 games. It's a hard one because of all the effort that the guys put in. They're playing great basketball, and in the end, it's come down to a Harrison Barnes game winner from 35 feet out, fading to the left. It's just one of those things, and that's how insane NBA basketball is, that one shot can literally alter a timeline. If we won that game, we're playing against the Lakers and we're the 6th seed, and the Timberwolves are duking it out against the Grizzlies, and who knows what would happen with that. It sucks that potentially we have now been robbed of maybe one last Steph and LeBron series. I think a lot of the NBA world would have absolutely loved to see that. So for us to not get that series potentially does kind of stink a little bit. It is what it is. We just didn't have it on the day against the Spurs. Spurs love to play spoiler. All of those teams always do. It's just, yeah, it sucks. Out in the East, there's not really much to touch on. The East was kind of locked down a week ago or so. So when I get my playoff predictions video out, I'll talk a lot more on that and how that happened. Yeah, other than that, last thing I really wanted to touch on was this Warriors game. As I said, I watched the second half of the Warriors game. And because someone had to go to work at the bright time of 8 o'clock in the morning, I had to listen to the whole of the overtime over just my headphones. I couldn't watch it. I had to have it in my ears and basically just go off what I heard. The one thing that I heard during the overtime that I later had to watch for myself was that Draymond Green missed layup. To me, it looks like he tries to hunt that contact way too much. He could have just gone straight up and he would not have gotten his shot blocked. He's just, really just missed the layup in one of the worst time to miss a layup all year. So it really hurts, to be honest, to have to play that extra game now, but it is what it is. It was a cracking game, to be honest. The whole second half was good. It just seemed like they were trading buckets back and forth all day. Kawhi didn't want to stop. Jimmy Butler had an incredible first half. He needs to continue to do that now to take us to the play-ins and through to the playoffs. Steph was as good as Steph will always be. He didn't miss a shot in the fourth quarter and overtime. Or he missed one, actually. Other than that, perfect from the free throw line, perfect from the field, hitting ridiculous three-point jump shots as he always does. He kept us in the game for the longest time. With, all things aside with Draymond Green, he played an incredible game too. I think he hit 4 threes for us, including a big three down the stretch where had James Harden hit back-to-back threes on us and Draymond's come up the other floor, hit a three in the corner and cut it in half. So it's one of those things where it's a bad loss, but the Clippers, to be honest, couldn't have played much better basketball. Jimmy Butler, there's not much more I can say about him. His second half wasn't as good, to be honest, but his first half was incredible, so that makes up for it. But that's what our game needs to be now. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler need to be winners for us. They both need to average 25 plus. They both need to be on, either one of them needs to be on the court for all 48 minutes of the game. And they just need to take us to the promised land. And I think it's going to be as simple as that. But yeah, the last thing I sort of have is James Harden. James played an incredible game. I think he scored the highest of the game with 39. Dishing out assists as he always does. I didn't quite catch those numbers in terms of rebounds and assists. But I'm sure he was up there in both of those categories regardless. He just picked us apart during overtime. To be honest, Kawhi didn't touch the ball in overtime. James Harden just got the ball and went 3 after 3, and just like that, we were dead in the water. So it's a poor loss, and it sucks considering, the Timberwolves are also playing the Jazz, who had won 17 games all season. But it is what it is. It's what basketball is. It's one of those things where you just can't do anything about it. And now we have to play again in a couple of days' time. But that's all I have for you guys today. This is just a bit of a recap. I just wanted to jump on and sort of talk to you guys about everything that happened today, what the roster looks like now, what the lineup is. 24 hours time, as I said, I'll get out the predictions video to you guys. I'll probably do play-in predictions and then I'll probably do playoff predictions. I think there'll be a few days in between the play-in and the playoffs, so I can get that sort of content out, which will be really helpful. Just sucks that turnaround for the play-in tournament's literally tomorrow. By the way, Adam Silver making every team play on a back-to-back for a play-in tournament game, especially an elimination play-in tournament game, that's really stiff. But I suppose have to fit it in the timeline somehow, so he can do what he likes. But yeah, that's all I've got. Liking, subscribing, all that good stuff, that'd be great. If you guys made it to this point in the video, it's much appreciated. I love getting this content out to you guys. and I hope to bring much more over the playoffs. The playoffs is the best time for basketball. We all know this. I'm very excited for it. I'm going to watch absolutely as much as I can, and I can't wait to talk about it with you guys once again. Thank you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow.